Halfway through this season's Adidas Victory Shield, and already plenty for the four nations to reflect on. 3 games, 13 goals, chances galore, and some great prospects for the future. Tonight we are at the Shibury Excelsior Stadium in Airdrie, 15 miles to the east of Glasgow, for a meeting of the defending champions Scotland and Wales, who are looking to end their campaign on a winning note. Just the 1 point for Wales from their opening 2 games. Mind you, a victory tonight and the championship could still be theirs. However, they'll have their work cut out against a supremely confident Scottish outfit. Here's a check on exactly what has happened so far. Wales were 2 up in that opening game against England before being overwhelmed in the second half. Scotland began their defence with a comfortable victory against the Irish, who then came from behind to draw 1-1 with Wales in Ballymena a fortnight ago. So at the halfway stage, Scotland lead the way on goal difference from England, with Wales and Northern Ireland bringing up the rear. Last season, Scotland became champions after picking up maximum points, rounding things off with a 3-1 win against England at Starks Park. That was a night for everyone to remember. So how does that squad compare with the current lineup? A question for manager Joe McLaughlin.
Well, it's maybe just a wee bit early to start making these sort of comparisons. Against Northern Ireland, we played in wee bits, you know, fits and starts. And I think tonight's a major test for them. If they're able to sustain the football, then I would say that we will be looking at going all the way, and maybe we would bear comparison with last year's squad.
What have you made of the Welsh, who have led against both England and Northern Ireland, but who've been unable to press home their superiority?
Well, obviously the Welsh will be disappointed at that, but we're out here tonight expecting them to go the full 80 minutes, and my experience, having played the Welsh a good number of years, is that they will give us a game, and we've got to be at our very best to get a result tonight.
But presumably confidence inside the Scottish camp is very high just at the moment.
Well, yes. I mean, I think the confidence is high. We've played well in certain games, and we produced the form that we can produce, and I think we'll do quite well tonight.
Well, the Scots certainly made a sound start to this season's campaign against Northern Ireland in Dingwall earlier this month. Goodness, that was some goal! They're shooting from every angle. The Quarrel goalkeeper slipped in a vital moment. But they have scored. Oh yes, that was the best in the right, possibly. Great night for the Scots now. As we've heard, the Wales manager David Owen has seen his side make a good start in their first 2 games. Tonight, he is looking for a full 80-minute performance.
Well, yes, hopefully. Obviously, we don't want to be regarded as a 40-minute side, but we've had a look at the England and the Northern Ireland videos, and we've discussed things, and hopefully we'll put things right, and we can carry the first half performance tonight well into the second half.
The Scots are, of course, defending champions, and they began with a pretty comprehensive 4-1 win against Northern Ireland. So you're up against it to some extent tonight, aren't you?
Well, yes, as always. As I said in the other internationals, you know, there's no such thing as an easy international, and the Scots are always a hard task, especially at Scotland. But, you know, we'll go in there. We've got a plan, and hopefully it'll work.
And generally, have you been encouraged by the development during the course of the season?
Yes, most certainly. Against England, we had a cracking 20-25 minutes where we really played well. Against Northern Ireland, we worked on our defending, because I think we defended badly against England for corners especially, and we defended well, and things are improving, yes.
Well, time now to look back at some of the more recent meetings between the two sides. Five seasons ago, it was Scotland who opened the scoring.
Nice turn by Queen. And it's a decent shot as well, and it's in! Queen, the Scottish captain, has put them ahead. Now Bellamy. Craig Bellamy going all the way. Jonathan Jones has equalised!
But Kevin Queen then scored a second to help Scotland to a comfortable win.
And look at that, he scored! Kevin Queen again!
The following season produced an absolute cracker. Scotland scored 7 with John Dow and Jim Gibson getting a hat-trick each. In 1996, Scotland made it 3 wins out of 3. Two seasons ago, it was rather closer. Scotland scored an own goal before equalising, and in the dying minutes, the Scots snatched a late winner.
Caldwell places it, and would you believe it?
Last season, Scotland scored the only goal to maintain their unbeaten run against the Welsh, which now stretches to 18 games. Well, no question that Scotland really have dominated this fixture, unbeaten in the last 18, winning 14 of those, and they've managed 17 goals in the last 5. Wales' last win in Scotland was back in 1979, 1-0 at Airdrie's old ground, Broomfield Park. Perhaps that's a little bit of an omen. That Welsh side, one of the best in their history, including, amongst others, Mark Hughes, Mark Bowen and Clayton Blackmore. Well, kick-off is fast approaching, so it's time to join our match commentators, the Scotland coach, Craig Brown, and Ian Crocker.
Thank you very much, Marcus. Well, Craig's had a busy month with European Championship qualifiers, 6 points out of 6. A chance to check out the other end of the international stage now, and it's looking pretty promising at this level for the Scots.
Yes, it is. They've started very well, and you know, the way things were going earlier in the month, I thought I maybe have to call upon one or two of the under-15 players. We were really struggling with injuries, but we managed to scrape 6 points.
An excellent month for Scotland, and a check on the teams tonight. Scotland rightly expected the Welsh to play with just one up front, so they've left out a defender in Richard Robb and brought in a striker in number 17, Chris Boyd, who's signed schoolboy forms with Kilmarnock. Stephen Jack will drop back from midfield a bit to give the defence protection. Number 10, Mark Fotheringham, is a survivor from last season's squad.
Yeah, the coach Joe has got a 3-man defence there with Jack picking up the lone striker and 2 wing-backs, McCunney and Rankin. McCunney and Rankin very, very dangerous going down the flanks. And, of course, 2 up front, Prunty and Boyd. So, a straightforward 3-5-2 formation, same as the national team of Scotland.
Well, Wales make one change in the side that drew in Northern Ireland, with number 14, Daniel Trigg, coming in for Chris Hopwood on the right-hand side of a 5-man midfield. Trigg is on Nottingham Forest schoolboy books. Number 15, Daniel Watkin, may well give most support to sole striker Daniel McTaggart. Good Welsh name that. He's on the schoolboy books of Manchester United.
Yes, and I think McTaggart must be a ringer here, a plant in there. Alec Ferguson's got him, but they will play a solid 4-5-1 with McTaggart up front, a very dangerous striker, I'm told, and Scotland will have to be very vigilant at the back with McTaggart on good form at the moment.
Well, the search for a star starts here when you consider some of the great names who have been given their grounding in schoolboy football. The likes of Dalglish and Souness and Bremner for the Scots, the likes of Mark Hughes, Rush, and more recently Craig Bellamy for the Welsh. Some of these boys on show tonight will go on to become familiar names in the game. See if you can spot who they are. It's Scotland against Wales at Airdrie.
just 3 ordinary Irish girls until they heard my call to become the Sisters of Murphy's. Their sole mission in life, to provide assistance. To offer guidance for those in precarious situations. And to give a sort of general helping hand to the Murphy's drinker. Nice work, sisters.
Why is it you keep your mortgage here, your current account here, your savings scattered over there, your credit cards over there, and your personal loans over there somewhere? Why? Because we've never been told any different. The one account puts all your money in one place, making it work harder for you and putting you in control.
Right now, it's all about Scotland and Wales in the Adidas Victory Shield. Scotland, the defending champions, of course. And we're at Airdrie, the Shibree Excelsior, to be precise, which is the newest stadium in Scotland. It was opened just a couple of months ago. It's a fantastic arena, it has to be said. And the good news, from a neutral point of view, it's pretty mild as far as Scottish conditions are concerned, and the fans are out in force as well. They've been making themselves heard throughout the build-up, and they are thoroughly looking forward to seeing the defending champions in action against a talented Welsh side who gave England a real scare in the first game and who looked pretty good for half an hour or so against Northern Ireland a couple of weeks ago. So we've got a real match on our hands. Let's rejoin our commentators, the Scotland coach Craig Brown and Ian Crocker.
Thanks, Marcus. Well, Scotland certainly made a storming start to their defence of the Victory Shield, thrashing Northern Ireland 4-1. And they certainly have an excellent record against Wales, who played their final game of the tournament tonight, having lost 4-2 to England and drew with Northern Ireland. But the Welsh were ahead in both of those games, and they certainly gave England a big scare, going 2-0 up before running out of legs, really. Will it be a fright night for Joe McLaughlin and his Scots? Well, they're pretty confident. The class of 98, as impressive as last year's boys, who ended up top of the class in the Victory Shield, winning it outright, having shared it with England the season before. It's the second international to be played here at the Shibree Excelsior Stadium. As Marcus said, the newest stadium in Scotland. But the Scots certainly start this one as favourites, Craig.
Yes, they do. I had a word with Joe McLaughlin, the Scottish manager. He's concerned about Wales. He's concerned about their whirlwind start and the fact that they have gone ahead in both their previous matches. So the Scottish players will have to be in their guard early in the game. But a marvellous setting this for a Schoolboy International. The new stadium in Scotland, a great credit to Everyonians Football Club, who were a super stadium, ideal for the match. Rangers were here last week playing a cup match. Celtic were here early in the season, and now the Scottish International Schoolboys are here, and I'm sure they'll enjoy it as much as the Old Firm players did. Although I've got to admit, Celtic lost here, Ian.
They did indeed in the League Cup. The referee tonight is Brian Cassidy, and it's going to be Wales who kick off this latest Victory Shield encounter. Looking for their first win, having taken just 1 point so far. You only get 2 points in the Victory Shield for a victory, so Scotland and England both with 2 at the moment. England head for Northern Ireland next week, so chance for Scotland to put some pressure on them. Wales will be hoping that their legs last a little bit better than they have done so far in this tournament. Certainly they went 2-0 up, scoring twice in 2 minutes against England, but eventually were well beaten by 4-2. They're certainly hanging on to the ball without much of a problem in the early stages. This is Mark Thomas.
Yeah, this is impressive from Wales. They're determined to keep possession, although very deep in their own half, which could be dangerous. But I think it's terrific credit to Wales that they're managing to keep possession. And eventually lost it, but they're trying to pass the ball.
Scotland on the attack, and John Rankin loves to get down that side, and that's a pretty decent cross, which Ashley Williams just about grabs hold of, and that was a close call. He's hurt himself in the process.
Yeah, that's a difficult one for a goalkeeper early in the game. A good idea from the Scottish players, get it across early, test them, but he did suffer a knock there, and he's now injured. Disappointing to see a young player hurt so early in the match.
Yes, an immediate concern for the Welsh keeper. Ashley Williams is on the books of Tranmere Rovers. He really took a whack there.
Yeah, Ashley did take a whack there, and Joe McLaughlin a bit concerned about it, but he doesn't want the flow of the game disturbed this early in the match. He wants to get his players into action. Some of them haven't had a touch at the ball yet.
David Owen, the man in charge of the Welsh.
Looks quite unconcerned about the fairly serious looking injury to his goalkeeper. Yeah, he did get a hefty knock there on the right calf, I think.
It's that old magic sponge coming out straight away in the opening couple of minutes.
Yeah, they're using sprays nowadays, but that's the old-fashioned cure, get the sponge on it. And I do think that Ashley Williams is in difficulty here. There's no question that he has taken a severe knock on his right knee.
And this is how it happened. It might have been his own man, actually.
Yeah,
I think
it looked like his own player.
Or his own boy, should I say. But it certainly looks a nasty one. He has had lengthy treatment.
No, the kick came from the Scottish player there, and it was a bit high with the foot, but no intention, I'm sure.
Yes, Mark Malloy just caught him, so the Welsh might be forced to bring on Gary Evans straight away. I bet he never thought he'd get on this early. It's a really sad sight at any level of football, especially for these schoolboys as well.
Yeah, I think, mind you, he had a look at the ambulance men coming on and decided that I'm going to be brave.
Well, they're going to make the change. He's going to go off. So Ashley Williams' match appears as if it's come to an end after barely a couple of minutes. He's not in a hurry to go.
There's a lot of indecision here. I think he's keen to play on, and he's been encouraged to play on by his colleagues.
Well, they have the substitute board ready, but he's not going off that easily, I'm afraid. So David Owen will hold back on swapping his keepers.
And of course, at top professional level, the next thing you do is throw one on top of him.
Yes, you would expect the Scots to do that.
And he's taking his own free kick, which is surprising. I thought maybe a defender would have done that for him.
So Ashley Williams in the walls early on, and now we can get back to the football after that injury crisis for Wales. Williams stays on though. Rankin cannoned off Mark Malloy. He's got a twisted knee, the keeper Ashley Williams, but they'll see how long he can last. Free kick. He lost his shirt then, Mark Malloy.
Yeah, but I think Mark committed the first infringement.
Will be a Welsh free kick. They've only ever once won the Victory Shield Wales. Away by John Kennedy. Now this is Daniel Trigg, who's come into the side tonight, replacing Chris Hopwood on the right-hand side of the Welsh five-man midfield. Kennedy, who has signed schoolboy forms with Celtic, going for the blast through the middle. Stephen Jack, wearing 8, will give a little bit of extra protection to the central defenders. John Rankin. He'll manage better passes tonight, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. I don't think John will be happy with that one, but he's a young Rangers signing and is in very good form this season, and a guy with quite a considerable future predicted for him.
Scotland shared the Victory Shield with England 2 seasons ago, but there was no share last season. They won it outright after beating England 3-1 in the deciding match. And this time it'll be a Scottish throw. It came off Daniel Trigg, and it's a throw that will be taken by John Rankin. Stephen Jack. Chris Boyd. Comes back to Fotheringham. He was a survivor of that successful Victory Shield side of last season. Wearing number 10. Hoping for a repeat success this time around. He didn't actually play in the game against Wales last year. He was an unused sub. But he's very much doing his bit this time around.
Yes, he's one of the most promising young players in Scotland, Ian. And I think at the moment many clubs are interested in him, and he hasn't yet committed himself.
Foul on Mark Malloy, who's still only 14, gives Scotland a free kick. 3 of their 4 goals against Northern Ireland came from outside the penalty area. This one's going to be whipped in by Fotheringham. It's an awkward one for Ashley Williams, and he is tested by a high ball.
Yeah, full marks to Ashley Williams there. He came confidently, caught that, but he's shaking his head, and I think the knee is causing him great difficulty.
Yes, his first real test, and it doesn't look like his knee is going to hold up. It was a swirling centre.
Yeah, it was a sensible ball to be in with the goalkeeper and difficulty, but I thought he handled it very well. But clearly now the Welsh are going to make a substitution.
Yes, he's obviously in great agony. And how disappointing for Ashley Williams. But now the substitution that they were threatening to make in the opening couple of minutes will be made, with Gary Evans waiting to come on.
Yeah, I think Gary's had warning that he's coming on, so he'll be well warmed up now and ready to go into the action.
Well, this is the free kick, and it was not too difficult a one for him, but as he fell, his knee went again.
Yeah, Mark Fotheringham put in a very, very dangerous cross there. I thought the goalkeeping was good, but on landing, quite clearly, he's in difficulty.
So David Owen, the Welsh manager, having to make a change. The best laid plans, mind you.
Yeah, never too good when you lose your number 1 goalkeeper early in the match, and of course that's 1 substitute committed.
It's a sad end to the game for Ashley Williams, but it gives Gary Evans his chance. He played at under 15 level last season, ahead of his time, against the Republic of Ireland. Well, the opening 10 minutes, the rhythm of the game upset by Ashley Williams' problem. Gary Evans is on to take his place.
Yeah, we've got to admit, Ian, that the Welsh started very well, keeping good possession, but they couldn't get the ball out of their own half, and so far we haven't had a chance to see Daniel McTaggart up front.
Scotland are actually unbeaten in 18 meetings with Wales at this level, and they've won 14 of those 18 games. And here they go now, with Darren Fletcher. It's a teasing run, and Chris Boyd unable to make contact. The sole striker, number 9 for Wales, is Daniel McTaggart, who with a name like that should most definitely be in the Scottish lineup, but he qualified to play for the country that you go to school in. That's why Ryan Giggs was able to play for England schoolboys.
This is good play from Fletcher, who's he's got 14 in his back and he's only 14 years of age, so he's one of the youngest players in the Scottish side and shows great promise.
Scotland have another free kick, and here's Rankin. Offside flag was up against McTaggart. Well, it would be against him because there was certainly nobody else up there with him at the time.
No, McTaggart's going to have to play on his own, I suspect, for the entire 80 minutes. He's already looking a bit despondent at the lack of service, but hopefully for Welsh point of view he'll get some supply.
Yes, it can be a hard life up there on your own. Stephen Jack, McCunney, Mark Malloy, twisting and turning, but not able to keep the ball. Mark Malloy, Lanarkshire Schools, actually represented Scotland in a four-a-side tournament before the World Cup in Paris in the summer, as did a few of the players on show tonight.
Yeah, I think Malloy's one of 7 Lanarkshire schoolboys, and of course here we are. I thought he was a little unlucky there not to get a free kick, but down he went, and the referee has waved play on. But Malloy, very, very sprightly here, local lad, as are 7 of the team, so there should be plenty of interest here in Airdrie.
Dean Simmons wearing 11 for the Welsh, but playing in the centre of defence. McCunney with the throw. And comes back to Jamie McCunney. Darren Fletcher is in the box. Rankin is in there as well. It's dealt with by the Welsh temporarily. It's a decent ball from Fotheringham, and Rankin will accept the throw.
Yeah, nice bit of control there from John Rankin, and eventually he's won a throw-in.
Pupil of the Airdrie Academy, one of those local boys.
Local school, and I think signed by Rangers.
This is good work by Chris Boyd. He's created an opportunity for himself here. The pullback finds Mark Malloy, and it's collected by Gary Evans, the substitute goalkeeper.
Yeah, Chris Boyd did very well. This young leggy boy got a great run down the left, and his cutback was to the edge of the box. A great chance there for Scotland, but a weak left foot shot on that occasion.
It'll be a goal kick to the Welsh, whose last win against Scotland came 18 years ago, 1979. It was a 1-0 success at Broomfield Park, which is actually Airdrie's old ground, so you never know. They might be able to repeat their success at Airdrie's impressive new ground.
Yeah, the old ground is a mile down the road, but what a difference now, because Airdrie were badly in need of a new stadium, and they've got a wonderful venue now to play.
Yes, they have been sharing with Clyde for a few years. Scotland with another free kick. Now McTaggart, he just couldn't quite get away, and he's going to get a free kick. He was upended. There's McTaggart.
Yeah, this will give the Welsh a chance to get into the Scotland penalty box for the first time in the match, because free kick can be played in from that distance. McTaggart did well. He challenged bravely for the ball and was impeded, and it's a free kick for Wales.
Only a tussling going on in the box, as there usually is, and then bounces right through to Graham Smith. Another one who's on the books of Rangers, 6'2" as well. Kennedy. Chris Boyd is on the chase for that one. Dean Simmons sticking with him. And Boyd goes down, and the corner is given.
Yeah, Boyd is looking very dangerous. This young lad is signed by Kilmarnock, and he's a rangy, dangerous striker, prepared to take defenders on, which is very, very good at that age.
He didn't make the starting lineup against Northern Ireland, but he certainly has done tonight. McCunney now. Fotheringham's cross. Rankin, I've hit the referee that. Nobody in that half of the field for the Welsh, to be sure. Jamie McCunney inside, frustrating the Scots. Oh, it's a throw-in that's been actually given.
Yeah, I think he's given a free kick for Scotland there. There's a push.
That just carried behind, and it'll be a goal kick to the Welsh. And as you can see, Scotland ploughing forward a fair bit.
Yeah, but they haven't really created one goal-scoring chance. We've had a couple of crosses, but no direct shots on goal, no saves for either goalkeeper, Ashley Williams, who's gone off, or Gary Evans, who's replaced him.
Wales completing their Victory Shield campaign with this match. They do have a game next month against the Republic of Ireland. This is Andrew Dowie. Mark Fotheringham. Malloy always looking for it out on that side. He's always going to struggle though. Full stretch to keep it in. And the poor touch from Mark Thomas.
Yeah, Mark gave the throw in rather softly. I think he needed a call, hold the ball, because without any pressure he softly conceded a throw in, which is dangerous for Wales.
This is lovely work from Malloy. And it's dragged back across by Brian Prunty, but the flag had gone up. It had just crossed over the line.
Yeah, some good play here from Mark Malloy. Great play. This winger looks to be in tantalising form tonight. And of course, had that one not just gone over for a goal kick, Scotland were in good shape.
Approaching the midway point of the first half. It's 40 minutes each way in these schoolboy internationals. The Welsh with just 3 wins in their last 20 Victory Shield matches. And all 3 of those wins came against Northern Ireland. Fotheringham giving Gary Evans another test with a fierce drive.
Yeah, Fotheringham looks the man for Scotland, number 10 here, because he's, for most of this game so far, been unmarked, and he's got complete control of the central area of midfield. And on that occasion we saw him breaking forward to try a shot at goal.
Turned 15 last week, Mark Fotheringham. Unusually, the referee having to dish out a yellow card, and this is why.
Yeah, I think the yellow card was just merited on that occasion.
It's Lee Fowler who has been yellow carded for the Welsh. Brother Michael actually played in this tournament a couple of years ago. And there'll be a chance for the Welsh. Dug out though by Kennedy. And the referee will stop play because treatment is needed. And it's like Malloy who might need a bit of treatment.
Yes, it is Malloy, and you know, the Welsh weren't aware that he was hurt, so they continued to play, and you would have hoped the ball would have been played out, but no fault to them, because I'm quite convinced they didn't realise that the Scottish player was in difficulty.
He looks really talented, this kid, though. Still only 14.
Yeah, Naheem Mohammed is the Scottish physio. He works with the Celtic Football Club, and he's managed to get young Mark Malloy back in action.
The Victory Shield was actually donated by the Scottish Schools FA when the tournament began way back in 1924, and the Scots won it in that first year. Did they play well that year, Craig?
I think you saw it, I didn't.
Oh yeah. It's a Scottish throw now, and that means Jamie McCunney. And he'll get the chance to take another one. Came off Martin Giles, the left back for Wales. Now Fotheringham will leave it. It runs through to Kennedy. This is Stephen Jack, who's with Celtic, schoolboy forms. Darren Fletcher has peeled away to this left-hand side. Rankin, the first port of call. Now Fletcher. And again, whoops, he lost his footing for the second time in a short space of time. Here's John Kennedy, though. Over the top looking for Prunty, but it was away by Giles. Charged down by Darren Fletcher, and he might get to this. Rankin in support. And it did go behind for the corner.
Yeah, Rankin there is doing very well supporting as a wing back on the left-hand side, but the most sprightly Scottish player is young Darren Fletcher at the moment. And he has certainly impressed in the early stages.
We'll wait for the corner, which Mark Fotheringham will take. Scotland's third of the game. Rankin's cross and Fotheringham's short corner. But Gary Evans not really troubled by the header. The defenders coming up from the back, and it was Andrew Dowie who made contact with that.
Yeah, good use of the short corner again by Scotland. They've used short corners well so far. It's disturbed the marking, and they've got crosses in from the receiving player, so I would suspect that Scotland will continue to persevere with the short corner situation.
We expected Scotland to have a fair bit of possession. I think the Welsh probably expected it as well, playing 5 across the midfield.
Yeah, Ian, the Welsh are remaining very, very composed. Although they're defending in depth, they're certainly very cool about the whole thing.
Scots have a throw-in. Jamie McCunney is becoming a familiar sight, taking throw-ins on that side. There's a fair bet, of course, that some of these lads will go on and make it, quite a few even. Maybe there's an excellent record throughout the years of players who have been involved at this level. Previous Scotland schoolboys include the likes of George Graham, Billy Bremner, Graham Souness, Kenny Dalglish, Gordon Strachan, Peter Lorimer, Paul McStay, Duncan Ferguson, Christian Daly, John Spencer, who's back in Scotland with Motherwell, of course. So some names for the future here for Scotland and for Wales. Their old boys include the likes of Mark Hughes and Ian Rush and Chris Coleman, and also Kevin Ratcliffe, and more recently Robbie Savage and Craig Bellamy, who's doing wonderful things with Norwich.
Yeah, the names you've mentioned, you know, that's a who's who of British football, and it's quite certain that under 15 schoolboy internationalists do progress to the top of the senior game.
Now here's Chris Boyd.
And of course we're looking all the time, Ian, for skill. Skill is the priority, and we could have bigger, stronger boys at this age, but
here's Darren Fletcher meantime. Malloy finding him, and he really is making a bit of an impact on this game. Mark Malloy, the number 7 for Scotland.
Yeah, he is indeed, and he's one of the examples that I was talking about. There's no point in having a big, strong team of full of boys who will not make the grade as senior players, and I know that the coaches of the Scottish schoolboys team look first and foremost for skill, and they do sacrifice perhaps a result or two by not including the big, strong lads whom they consider won't make the grade as senior professionals.
The deadlock yet to be broken in Airdrie. Here's Andrew Dowie. Stephen Jack. Rankin as ever, hugging the touchline.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to see them passing the ball as they're doing. They're passing it from the back, both teams. So that's a delight, I think, for anyone here at the match and for senior professional managers to watch. There's a perfect example I throw out from the Welsh goalkeeper, Gary Evans.
And they're all doing it pretty confidently as well.
They are indeed. You know, the World Cup analysis confirmed that when the goalkeeper distributes the ball, you retain possession in the majority of times, but if you just kick it away upfield, as many goalkeepers did at the top level, you lose it. And you may gain distance, but you certainly lose possession of the ball.
Scotland going on the prowl again, except that it didn't come down for Chris Boyd, and Dean Simmons was able to clear it away. Here's Rankin again, though. Man Fotheringham.
Yeah, Fotheringham's there in the centre of that pitch for Scotland, and he's looking very impressive. And just behind them, of course, Stephen Jack in possession at the moment. these two, I think, at the moment are controlling the match.
Andrew Dowie's pass, but good tracking back by Mark Thomas. Going to come back to Dowie though, and here is Fotheringham. And Prunty, I think he might have cleared that one out of the stadium.
Yeah, lovely pass though from Mark Fotheringham, but it was volleyed too early, too anxious, and got in below it, and it is out of the stadium, I think.
A new ball needed. Reminder that on Sunday at midday, our nationwide action is Bolton Wanderers against Sunderland, Sky Sports 2 from midday. Should be a rather interesting encounter at the Reebok, and in the Premiership it's Middlesbrough against Nottingham Forest at the Riverside, Sunday at 3 on Sky Sports 3. Here in the Victory Shield, Scotland looking for their second win in their second game. Wales looking for their first win in their final game of the tournament.
Yeah, I think Jamie McCunney there must have taken a record number of throw-ins so far down that side. But I do feel that perhaps McCunney's strategy is to gain ground from the throw-in, throw it down the line, hope to get another throw.
Seems to be working quite well for him at the moment. As you say, a series of throw-ins. Andrew Dowie.
I think, if anything, the build-up was just a little deliberate from Scotland at the back. They're keeping possession wisely, but I think if they were a bit more urgent in their play, they would get past the Welsh before they're regrouped at the back.
Well, they scored 17 goals in their last 5 meetings with Wales. Chris Boyd's cross. Oh, it's gone all the way through. And it was McCunney who arrived, but failed to find the target.
Yeah, good cross from Chris Boyd, following a crossover throw, a well-worked throw-in down the left, taken by John Rankin, and it gave Chris Boyd possession. He put a cut back there to the edge of the box, which, as you see, was just driven over the top again.
Jamie McCunney scored in the 4-1 win over Northern Ireland with an absolutely scorching strike from outside the box. He had a good chance then to claim his second of the tournament.
Yes, this young man here, Gary Evans, has done very well indeed.
3 attempts out of 6 on target for Scotland. Wales yet to seriously test the Scottish defence, but that's kind of how we expected it would be.
But although they've been in target, they haven't really threatened Gary Evans, nor did they threaten Ashley Williams before him, so Scotland will need to get someone on the target with some venom.
Well, that was hit reasonably well by John Kennedy, and it was closer than the previous 2 long-range efforts.
Yeah, John Kennedy tried a shot. It was worth a shot from there, but he did pull it wide of the goal, and it didn't really threaten Evans in the Welsh goal.
Well, Kennedy and co obviously fancy their chances from distance, having scored 3 of their 4 against Northern Ireland from a far way out. 10 minutes of the first half remaining. Nobody over on that side for Scotland at present. This is Martin Giles. Can also play in the centre of defence. Daniel Watkin wearing 15 for the Welsh.
Yeah, Daniel was just a little over-enthusiastic there. I don't think there was any malice in that, but the young Wrexham boy was determined to get possession. But unfortunately for him, he concedes a free kick.
Which is swung in by Kennedy, but comfortably dealt with. Malloy. Christian Diamond. Neat work from him, but he went down a bit of a cul-de-sac, and Malloy dispossessed him and tried to slip it through. In the end, it was drilled wide by Boyd.
Yeah, Christian Diamond, he lost possession there, which was a very bad position in which to lose possession. And young Malloy slipped it through. Unfortunately, the Achilles, the Kilmarnock player, Chris Boyd, struck it past the post. He's got to get across the face of the goal from that position to give a rebound chance and also a scoring chance, but to put it into the side net there is very disappointing.
Firm header back by Andrew Dowie gives Graham Smith a bit of a rare touch in the Scottish goal.
Yeah, the central defenders are splitting wide to receive the pass and to start the build-up again, which again I say is a little deliberate, a little slow. More urgency on occasion. Vary the pace of the game would help from the back for Scotland.
That one will drop through to Gary Evans. Martin Giles. It was firmly met by John Kennedy. Then on the touchline, Marcus is with the Scottish boss, Joe McLaughlin.
Well, Joe, you're dominating in terms of possession. How frustrated are you that you haven't scored yet?
Well, a wee bit frustrated, obviously, because we've had a lot of possession. We've had a lot of the territorial advantage, and we haven't really made a lot of chances, to be quite honest. So we're just hopeful that the build-up work will produce something, and hopefully before half-time.
Yeah, I suppose patience is the order of the day just at the moment, isn't it?
Well, obviously the Welsh are playing at a high tempo, and it's just a question of whether they can keep on going with this for 80 minutes. And if not, I'm sure we'll get something from it.
Thanks, Joe.
You're welcome.
Well, they're going to plug away again here with Rankin with the free kick. Away by Simmons. Scotland coming back for a bit more. Fotheringham to Rankin. And it was a good challenge by Woodyat.
Yeah, Woodyat get in well there because John Rankin was about to put a dangerous cross in.
It's a lovely back heel, and it would have been had the offside flag not gone up as Chris Boyd tucked it through.
Yeah, bound to be offside in that situation. I'm afraid that young John should have looked along and he'd noticed that it was offside and pulled himself back a yard or two. Because it was a great play again by Chris Boyd, a very, very good back heel pass.
Wales, remember, were ahead in their previous 2 games in the Victory Shield. It would give them an enormous lift to go ahead here, but they've only had a rare excursion or 2 into the Scottish half of the field. Fotheringham, who was looking for McCunney, but it was swept away by Martin Giles. Now Mark Thomas. McTaggart was being fouled by Andrew Dowie. Free kick to the Welsh.
Yes, Andrew Dowie was taking no chances there because McTaggart looked to be in a threatening position, so he was held back. I like the look at this striker, Ian, as Daniel McTaggart. I'm sure Alec Ferguson does as well. He's got him signed by Manchester United. He looks quick and elusive.
A very promising prospect, and he'd love to get on the end of this free kick. And that's going to be another free kick for Darren Fletcher's foul on Christian Diamond.
Yeah, Darren was a bit rash there. There was no need to foul him because his opponent was pacing away from goal, no danger threatened, and unfortunately young Darren committed a foul very rashly.
It'll be the left foot of Mark Thomas to send this one in. You can be sure that Fletcher will be amongst those hoping to make some sort of contact, but I think it's going to drop away and over. Disappointing in the end from Mark Thomas, who is with Liverpool.
Yeah, I wouldn't fault Mark Thomas there. I didn't think that he had enough aerial power in that box to make contact with the cross. His ball was a perfectly flighted ball.
Andrew Dowie. Darren Fletcher on the chase. The ball gathering pace all the time though, and he's not really going to get there.
Yeah, it looked a good build-up from the goalkeeper and a clear indication of Scotland's determination to keep possession, but of course the ball was overhit and no chance at all, I'm afraid, for Darren Fletcher. This young man hasn't really been tested by any serious shots from the Scottish forwards. I'm sure Joe McLaughlin at half-time will be encouraging them to test the replacement Welsh goalkeeper.
Well, the Scots are hoping to keep up their 100% record this season at under 15 level, as well as beating Northern Ireland in the Victory Shield opener. They've been doing pretty well in other matches as well, having beaten Austria, Switzerland and France. In fact, they won a triangular tournament against the Swiss and the French. It's going to dribble behind for a Scottish goal kick, with half-time looming at the Shibury Excelsior Stadium, new home of Airdrie. Innocently named too. Sounds like it ought to be a hotel.
Yeah, well, a lot of controversy over the naming of the stadium. I don't want to get involved in that, but I think, you know, there were many of the fans wanting one name, many wanting another, and I think it was settled by a vote at the end of the day. But certainly very controversial.
Kennedy for Scotland. Flicked on by Prunty, but the flag immediately up against Malloy.
Yeah, I thought a very good flick on, but young Mark Malloy had just been too anxious and gone ahead of the pass a bit quickly.
Well, 3 years ago, this encounter ended 7-3. It's going to be a yellow card for Prunty, Brian Prunty. He wasn't far enough away, I believe.
Yeah, he encroached there because I think he's been warned, because Giles has a very sweet left foot and he was clearing it nicely upfield, and of course Prunty encroached and blocked it, and I think deserved the yellow card.
One yellow card each. Lee Fowler also booked for Wales, no goals each. I was about to say that 3 years ago this fixture in the Victory Shield ended 7-3 to Scotland. It's going to have to be one heck of a second half if that scoreline's going to be repeated.
Well, we hope so. We hope we get some goals anyway. I think a goal would open up the game. Certainly, it's very, very static at the moment. There's a lack of movement at the moment from both teams. I think they're just playing out time. Scotland happy, perhaps, not to be behind to Wales, because Wales have had a record of going ahead. Here's a chance for them.
It's Christian Diamond. It's closed down quickly. Wales ending the half on a high. Christian Diamond.
No, I only think
it's going to be a long throw. Christian Diamond. Prunty now. Darren Fletcher. Again, Scotland a little laboured, unable to make the breakthrough.
Yeah, Darren a bit slow in getting in, ran into a red jersey again, because the red jerseys are well organised and they get back quickly.
Simmons across. There'll be 2 minutes of added on time. Kennedy. Here's Chris Boyd. Kennedy again. Can he deliver a decent cross this time? It's not bad. But the Welsh defence holding firm again. Will they be breached now? The answer is no from Stephen Jack.
Yeah, good attempt call from Stephen Jack. He moved forward there and hit a very good shot with his left foot. But again, he's got to get across the goal to give himself a chance. And I think excellent goalkeeping. Gary Evans had that covered.
Stephen Jack was one of the scorers against Northern Ireland. Scotland's opening match. Certainly the Welsh will be a little happy with the way it's gone in the first half, although they created nothing. They knew they would be in for a testing time against the Scots. Here's Stephen Jack again, and that's a decent cross, and the header by Prunty is off the post. That's the closest Scotland have come through Brian Prunty.
Yeah, here's a great lay-off, and Stephen Jack, a touch of pace and a good cross with his left foot, and a fine header by Prunty. I think very unlucky there for Scotland. This is a superb delivery, and an unmarked striker there, Prunty, nodded it against the outside of the post.
Schoolboy forms with Celtic. And it's half-time at Airdrie, and Scotland certainly had much of the possession in the first half, and Brian Prunty, right on the stroke of half-time, had their best chance by far with that glancing header, which glanced off the foot of the post. But Scotland are going to need to raise the tempo a bit in the second half of this Victory Shield encounter if they're going to breach Wales. It's goalless at the break.
The Prince returns on Halloween to make the 11th defence of his title.
I'm your worst nightmare.
And Wayne McCulloch wants to give him a real fright.
Trick or treat.
Halloween Fright Night, Saturday from 10, Sky Box Office 3. Book before midnight tonight for the early price of $11.95. Call 0990 800 777. Cable customers contact your local operator.
Do you want a flake in that, love?
Hello, Bank of Scotland Mortgages Direct.
Hi, listen, I know this is probably a waste of time, but I'm looking for a mortgage.
Okay, what's the problem?
Well, my income fluctuates. It goes up and down.
I see. Well, you might consider our personal choice mortgage. It's more flexible than most.
Oh, right.
You can adjust your payments as your life changes. You can even arrange payment holidays.
Oh, I suppose it costs.
Actually, you may find it surprisingly good value.
Great. How quickly can you move?
We can start now.
If you're buying a home or just want to move your mortgage, call us free on 0800 810 810. Bank of Scotland Mortgages Direct. Always worth talking to.
You think you got me? Not even close, Sparky. I got you on the ropes. I am taking you down! Ah! See ya! You are dead meat! You are mine! I am grinding you into the ground! Ah! Ah!
You are going down. You're going down.
Ah! Slam!
1080 snowboarding. Practice, practice, practice.
Touché.
I'm going to Eton. I'm going to Comprehensive. Grammar. Borstal. Convent. I'm not going at all.
Take control of your child's future. Read Parent Power free in the Sunday Times. It's your 56-page guide to Britain's best independent schools.
More live football coming up for you on Sunday. Midday on Sky Sports 2, it's Football League action. Bolton, who lost their way just a little bit against unbeaten Sunderland. Then at 3 on Sky Sports 3, this week's Super Sunday, coming from the Riverside, it's Middlesbrough against Nottingham Forest. And our third game on Sunday is from Spain. It's Deportivo against Mallorca, and that's from 6:30 on Sky Sports 1. Half-time at Airdrie, and it's Scotland 0, Wales 0. Another good first 40 minutes as far as the Welsh are concerned, but look at those attempts at goal. 10 for the home side, none for Wales, who have very rarely ventured into opposition territory. A few fouls and a couple of bookings as well. Lee Fowler, the Welsh fouler, and Brian Prunty seeing yellow for Scotland. Action areas, as you'd expect, it's all Scotland, but they have failed to take advantage of their superiority. Well, I'm delighted to say that the former Scottish international Alan McAnally has joined me at half-time. Alan, your thoughts on those first 40 minutes?
Well, I think the stats have said it all, really, isn't it? Certainly Scotland have dominated. I think the Welsh look almost as if they can't cope with Scotland. Scotland look too strong for them. They've set their stall out, though. They've only played with one up front, so I'm not that surprised, really, that they haven't made many chances, because the big boy Dowie at the back has done extremely well. But I would be surprised if Scotland don't go on and win this, I really would. Yes, they've got to remain patient, haven't they? And just hope that eventually they can break down what has been a very resilient Welsh side so far. Yeah, well, I think Mark Malloy has been magnificent in the first half, and I'd like to see him get on the ball as often as he can. We haven't attacked him down the flanks as much as we can. We put him under a little bit of pressure, but not enough. And it wasn't really until the end when Stephen Jack got down and put the first cross in that we had the first real chance of a header. But I think there's plenty to be quite happy about in the Scottish dressing room at the moment, but I think patience is probably the right word to use, and hopefully eventually they will tire, as they have done in the last couple of internationals goals. Well, the closest the Scots came just before half-time, Brian Prunty, who'd been booked, coming so close with the header, and I suppose this will encourage the Scots at half-time as they look back on the first quarter. Yeah, most definitely. He's actually been doing a little bit of a holding role, but I say Prunty's so unlucky, just sits the outside of the post. A great chance, though. I mean, he's maybe not just got enough on it, but it was a fantastic chance. I thought he's actually going to score. But good to see Jack, because as I said, he's been sitting, really allowing Malloy and bothering them to go forward. But him going down there added something else. A good ball in, but Prunty just didn't get enough on the header. You mentioned Malloy, and he has been the outstanding performer so far, hasn't he? Well, he's looked, I can't remember Jimmy Johnson, but I suppose if you think of somebody, quite happy on the ball, very, very tricky, likes to link up and gets forward into the box as well, has done terrifically well for Scotland. From a Welsh point of view, what do they say at half-time? Just carry on? I mean, there is a question mark as to whether they can carry on for a full 40 minutes again, isn't there? Well, I'd like to see someone up with Dan McTaggart, because it's very difficult for the young lad. He's against two big strapping boys at the back, and it's not easy for him. And not only that, when the ball is played up, if he can hold it up at all, then there's no support to him, because Scotland are pushing them back so much. So I don't know, they're playing this well, it's a kind of 4-4-2, except there's one far too deep. They've got to maybe try and put two up front, so when they get the ball clear, they can hold it up and allow the Welsh midfield to go and support them, and that then might take the pressure off. But they're giving the ball away far too many times, and unfortunately they're defending almost on the edge of the box. Half-time then at Airdrie. It's goalless. Scotland needing the points, of course, next month. They take on England at Peterborough. That could well be a championship decider, so maximum points required for them. Wales want to end their campaign on a winning note. They've got 40 minutes to find the winning goal. Can they do so? Join us for the second half in a couple of minutes.
The one and only Paul Gascoigne.
A touch of genius.
A God-given talent with an unquenchable lust for life. He bounced back before. Is he ready to play again? Middlesbrough v Forest on Port Super Sunday, just part of a weekend of football on Sky Sports.
Who would I most like to have a one-to-one with? Martin Luther King.
I just want to do God's will.
I'd ask him if there was one incident that drove him to become part of the civil rights movement. And did he realize how much he frightened those who opposed him? Most of all, if I could have a one-to-one with him, I'd ask him how he maintained his principle of peaceful protest in the face of such provocation.
I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
Who would you most like to have a one-to-one with? Our mobile phone service gets people talking.
Feel like I'm about to be electrocuted.
Relax, Mr. Christie. The polygraph is a very precise instrument. What colour is your underwear today?
Black.
Mr. Christie, have you ever tested positive for drugs?
No.
You did in Seoul in 1988.
I was acquitted. I've been totally exonerated. That was a mistake.
What do you know about a new financial organisation called Egg?
They provide tailored solutions for each customer.
Where did you put your fee for endorsing Egg?
It's in an Egg savings account.
When did you lose your virginity?
I don't think I ever had one.
Are you married?
No.
What are you doing later?
Ralgex, powerful pain relief for sports injuries.
He's back. There's only one. Jackie Chan.
I'm the Chinaman.
First showing of Rumble in the Bronx.
I think he broke my nose.
9 p.m. tonight on Sky Movie Max.
There is World Championship Boxing tomorrow night on Sky Box Office 3. Prince Nassim Hamed defending his WBO World Featherweight title against the former WBC Bantamweight champion Wayne McCulloch. And for more information on that fight, you can call 0990 800 888. That's 0990 800 888. 0-0 at half-time at Airdrie. Let's rejoin Craig Brown and Ian Crocker.
Thanks, Marcus. Scotland starting the second half, and they will hope to breach the Welsh defence as soon as they can, as they look for their second win of this tournament, and as they look to put the pressure on England, who go to Northern Ireland next week. And then, of course, it's the final match of the Victory Shield, England against Scotland, 3 weeks tonight in Peterborough, which more often than not has been the deciding game in this tournament. Chris Boyd, and a penalty given. There was no hesitation as Chris Boyd went down. James Collins with a tackle.
Yes, I'm afraid it was a penalty, but a bit soft, and there wasn't really a dangerous situation, but a rash tackle, and the referee was right on the spot. He gave the penalty kick. I think a bit unlucky for Wales, but there's no question that technically that was a penalty kick.
Well, there was no hesitation from Brian Cassidy, and Brian Prunty has the chance to give Scotland a perfect start to this second half, and he takes it with a perfect penalty. Gary Evans is beaten as Prunty celebrates.
Yeah, this is an exceptionally well taken penalty. He kept it low, sent the goalkeeper the wrong way, and a very, very good penalty. And he's learned from the World Cup, because the penalties were all placed. Every penalty I think the World Cup was placed and with the use of the inside of the foot, and Prunty has learned from that, and he stuck that away, I thought, in expert fashion. Good goal.
And it's the goal that this game was crying out for in the first half. It didn't come then, but it certainly came right at the start of the second half. And it means that Wales will have to be a little bit more adventurous now.
Yeah, I don't think Scotland would have anticipated as lucky a start as that, and you're quite right, Ian. Wales will have to come out now if they hope to salvage something, and that should make it a much better match.
Jamie McCunney with the throw. Now Mark Malloy. And he's been fouled by Fowler. He was yellow carded in the first half.
Yeah, I've got to agree with Alan McInally. This young lad has looked exceptionally good in the first half, and although Alan said he didn't see Jimmy Johnson, I was at the wrong end of a few roastings from Jimmy Johnson.
Prunty was almost in again then, as Fotheringham's free kick caused one or two problems for the Welsh, and it'll be a corner.
Yeah, and here's Mark Fotheringham coming to take the corner yet again for Scotland. He delivers the ball very well indeed. The big lads up there, Dowie, Scottish captain, Andy Dowie, a Rangers signing, is up for the cross.
And it's Dowie who nearly got in on that, and it cannoned off the shins of Dean Simmons. Certainly never meant that as a back pass.
Oh, no, no question of a back pass there.
It's ironic that a penalty should be scored at Airdrie, because I'm reliably informed that Airdrie was the home of the world's first ever penalty, taken in March 1891, would you believe, 3 days after the rule was first introduced.
Well, there have been a few penalties at Broomfield, I can assure you, in the old stadium, because it was a tight pitch and it was a rough place to play, and I can guarantee that there were many penalties there.
And it had just gone out. Chris Boyd unable to keep it in play. Brian Prunty kept his cool from the penalty spot, and how. This was the challenge on him that led to the spot kick.
Yeah, great credit to Boyd for being very positive in his movement, and that's a wonderfully taken penalty.
We can't get much better than that from the spot. Prunty's second victory Shield goal of the season. Mark Thomas was going to take the throw, but he won't do, because he's coming off. He's going to be substituted, so he doesn't get the chance even to take the throw in. And Ryan Harden is going to come on in his place. Mark Thomas, the youngster, going off. You have to trudge all the way across the field. And it's actually Andrew Newton who's on for Wales. Christian Diamond.
Yeah, young Diamond has looked impressive for Wales, and I think that he's one of the better players, and Crystal Palace have a good signing. I'm sure that Terry Venables will be delighted to see this young man in action.
So can the Welsh fight back? Fowler's free kick, and they have bitten back. It's Daniel Watkin with the equaliser, and Scotland stunned by that.
Yeah, that was a very well taken free kick by Fowler, and Watkin come in, and a great leap from Watkin, a wonderful header, and an exceptionally fine goal for Wales. The timing of this jump is magnificent, and he gets a glancing header. No chance for the Scottish goalkeeper Graham Smith. Surrounded by Scottish defenders, and still he managed to keep his eye on the ball and finish magnificently. Great goal from Daniel Watson.
Yes, the keeper rooted to the spot. Well, what a lively start to the second half. Fotheringham, very much a key player for the Scots, but it's Daniel Watkin there who has levelled the scores. But it was Wales' only attempt on goal so far.
Yeah, 1 out of 1's very good, and Watkin has certainly given Wales a lifeline here. They're back in business, and they're lively immediately after the goal.
This is Boyd. Watkin, the goal scorer, is looking for McTaggart, but away by Dowie. And now this game has opened up. Mark Malloy just couldn't quite get to that one, though. McTaggart up towards Newton. The free kick will go the way of Scotland.
Yeah, you're right, the game has opened up now. The spaces are appearing in the pitch. The Welsh defence and depth has started to come out, and of course that got them a goal. But it should leave openings also for Scotland.
It's a lovely flick by Fletcher for Boyd. Prunty is in the middle, so is Malloy. And it almost opened up for the Scots then. They have a throw.
Yeah, yet another throw for Jamie McCunney.
Jamie McCunney with Dundee United. Malloy, there he goes again. Magnificent turn from Malloy. And the overhead kick didn't quite come off for Prunty. The danger is far from over, and Rankin's drive was deflected wide for a corner.
Yeah, a very good attack there from Scotland, inspired again by Mark McNally.
Rankin with the final attempt on goal.
Yeah, Rankin a good shot in the turn.
And Dowie was in there. And it's dug out by Woodyard. But Scotland putting the Welsh under a bit of pressure here. This is Darren Fletcher. Can he deliver a decent cross? That's not bad for Dowie. Away by Watkin. Here is Watkin, who's buzzing after his goal. Let's come back to Stephen Jack, and very firmly struck as well.
Yeah, good right foot shot there from Jack. Yeah, he put the best cross of the first half in with his left, and there he showed his ability with both feet when he struck this excellent right foot shot from outside the box.
And now, Wales with McTaggart on the chase here, and credit to Stephen Jack, because he went over the top of the defender, but he made sure that he got back to foil McTaggart's run.
Yeah, McTaggart is definitely a dangerous striker there and has to be watched very carefully by the Scottish defence.
Christian Diamond now, sizing one up. He's with Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I've been impressed by young Chris Diamond. He's looked in the first half one of the best or the better Welsh players.
The Welsh equaliser, and superbly taken it was.
Yeah, he kept his eye on the ball, and he just got a perfect header there and flighted it well out of the range of Graham Smith.
Might have a bit of work to do on his somersault celebration, though. Chris Boyd and Darren Fletcher were both on the chase, but Woodyard, the Welsh right back, was always favourite to get there first, and did. John Rankin, the local lad, with the throw to Mark Malloy, who again teases the Welsh. They've got two men on him. Rankin again. This time finds Chris Boyd. That's a nice turn from him. Not the best of clearances, and Fotheringham almost benefited. The goals have transformed this game.
Yeah, a much more lively game now, and young Mark Malloy is beginning to make a real impact. He's floating from side to side. We saw him on the left a minute ago. Now he's back on the right and ready to receive that throw, but good defending again from Wales.
A tremendous young talent. He looks only 5'6", but he's been showing some silky skills this evening as the rain starts to come down in Airdrie.
Yeah, it's been known to rain in Airdrie in the past.
Really?
Yeah.
And all across Scotland as well.
Exactly.
Martin Giles with the throw, and he'll make up some ground and take another one. Out from John Kennedy.
Yeah, Kennedy and Dowie have defended very well for Scotland, but they were certainly caught out with the cross ball for the goal.
The man who got that goal, Daniel Watkin, did well to nip in then. And that's not the best of clearances, but it was a situation that was fast rescued by Rankin. Thought he was going to pick it up then, Gary Evans.
Yeah, but good attempt to play out from the back. Although it was intercepted, the Welsh are determined to build and not just kick it forward.
Yeah, that is good to see from both sides.
It is, isn't it? That's the one really pleasing feature of the game from my point of view, the determination from both teams to pass the ball.
Come on, turn it!
Goal difference or goals scored are not taken into account in the Victory Shield. Any countries level on points at the end of it all would share the shield, as England and Scotland did a couple of seasons back. Last season, Scotland didn't really fancy sharing it with the English, and they beat them to it. John Kennedy, Celtic's schoolboy books, being hassled by McTaggart, finds his defensive partner Dowie. Malloy could be away here, although quickly into the tackle was Fowler.
Yeah, great tackle from Lee Fowler there, excellent tackle.
Here he is again, trying to inspire something from the Welsh. It was brought out by Stephen Jack, who was just caught a little late. Lee Fowler limping a little bit after that challenge.
Yeah, a superb challenge though. I think he too has been a powerhouse and worked very, very hard for Wales.
Well, the Welsh have only beaten the Scots 3 times since the war at this level, but all those 3 victories did come on Scottish soil. Here's Prunty though, and that was a neat knockdown for Chris Boyd, but he didn't really connect as he would have wished.
Yeah, very good play. This is a very good knockdown, but the connection was just a little too early. He didn't wait long enough on the ball coming down and didn't get proper contact on it. Big difference now here we see is that the Welsh have gone 4-4-2. They've got 2 strikers up. They brought on Andrew Newton and he's playing up front along with Daniel McTaggart, which is giving them a much more potent threat forward. So that's undoubtedly helped the game.
Scotland considering making a change. Stephen Cumming is the man, keep calling them men, I mean they're also mature in the way that they play the game, but substitution is going to be made with Mark Fotheringham making way for Stephen Cumming. He's had a decent match, Fotheringham, but Darren McLaughlin deciding to make the change, and Stephen Cumming is on. He's on Dundee United's books. Immediately gets a touch. Foul on the goal scorer Watkin by Kennedy. Now somebody might fancy a bit of a pop from here. Graham Smith just sorting out a 3-man wall, the Scottish keeper.
It's a long way, but it's certainly worth a shot, and I have been impressed when I've looked at Chris Diamond, and he's likely to have a go here.
Yeah, he's certainly the favourite. Fowler's going to step over, and Christian Diamond straight into the midriff of Graham Smith though. Here's the substitute Stephen Cumming. But not for long. Andrew Newton, the Welsh sub. McTaggart is in the middle. Ooh, and nearly came off for him. Darren Fletcher gets it back from Prunty, who so neatly tucked away that penalty which gave the Scots the lead, but Daniel Watkin equalising for Wales. The game almost 3/4 old. And the foul by Martin Giles on Fletcher gives the Scots a free kick. There's not much doubt about that one, I don't think.
Yeah, undoubtedly a foul, though. Giles has played very well on the left side of the defence for Wales. But so too as Darren Fletcher, one of the young midfield players for Scotland.
And it is Fletcher who swirls the free kick in. Rankin. Coming. Back to Rankin. Oh, and the header from Prunty didn't even go behind. It was glanced well off target.
This is a great cross from a deep position, a wonderful cross by Cumming, and it just eluded the strikers' heads there, but all credit to the overlapping wing back there, getting it well forward and getting a great cross in.
Scotland beat Wales 1-0 last season in the Victory Shield, a game that was played at Wrexham. Martin Giles. Watkin slipped but was still able to flick it on. Taggart. Diamond. Daniel Trigg. But John Rankin gets the better of him. Trigg, who's on the books of Nottingham Forest, with the throw. And with the cross. It's Lee Fowler. Might yet challenge for still. Graham Smith, the Scottish keeper, got there in the end.
Yeah, a rare anxious moment for Graham, but he was in full control of the situation.
Darren Fletcher, that's a real teasing one. But it was dealt with by Woodyard. The Welsh are going to be on alert again here, though. Chris Boyd's turn comes back to Darren Fletcher, but the free kick goes against Boyd for the foul on Watkin. Then on the touchline, Marcus is with the manager of Wales, Daffyd Owen.
Well, Daffyd, your heart must have sunk when the penalty went in, but what a response.
Well, yes, it certainly was a bad start to the second half, and you know, in the first half we were just passing for the sake of passing and no real purpose, and we've been going on and on and on to the boys about getting in behind the Scots and asking questions of their back four, and we didn't at all. Then we got the free kick, we got the goal, and now we've started asking a few questions, and at the moment it could go either way.
You think you can go on and win it though, don't you?
Well, most certainly, yes, why not? As long as we do try and get in behind their back four and keep them back, because in the first half we just played on the edge around our box, we were digging our own grave. Now we're asking a few questions, so why not?
It's an exciting climax. Thanks, Daffyd.
Thanks very much.
Well, a win for Daffyd and for Wales would be considered an upset and would be their first over Scotland in 90 meetings, stretching back to 1979. Fletcher's free kick. Giles with plenty of time to clear this. McCunney to Malloy, who was caught late then by Christian Diamond, and I think he might get a ticking off at the very least from the referee.
Yeah, I think he's getting more than a ticking off. I think he's about to get a yellow card. No, I think the referee went for the card and then decided, as you anticipated, that a ticking off would suffice there.
Darren Fletcher. And well done, Gary Evans, for clocking that one out of the air. The keeper who came on in the opening minutes, remember, after Ashley Williams twisted his knee.
Yeah, he looks very assured, this replacement goalkeeper. Excellent handling there. Timed it to perfection and cut out the cross brilliantly.
Wales without a win over the Scots since the 70s. In fact, back in 1977, Wales won by a 0-0, and some chap called Ian Rush was the scorer for the Welsh schoolboys that year. Went on to bang in one or two more, apparently.
I think he did, indeed. Of course, he was supplied perfectly by a Scotsman, Mr. Dalglish.
Yeah. A reminder that on Sunday there is some spectacular live action ahead on Sky. Bolton against Sunderland, with a cracker from the Nationwide League. Sky Sports 2 at midday. And there's Premiership action, Middlesbrough against Nottingham Forest, Sky Sports 3 at 3. The header from James Collins gives Scotland a corner.
Yeah, they favoured the short corner in the first half, but I notice now that Joe McLaughlin and Stuart Taylor, the coaches, have said get the ball into the box, test the goalkeeper. They're doing it now.
Just over the head of Dowie, who's threatened to connect on one of those all evening. Might yet do. Newton, Giles. Kennedy's ball over the top, and Prunty makes it his. Ooh, and comes close to his second of the game.
Yeah, a bit of indecision in the Welsh defence there. This is a tempting high ball through, and the Welsh defenders facing their own goal are hesitating. Prunty gets in behind, and his shot just squirms over the top. Good play by Prunty, and a bit unfortunate. Just misjudged the distance there.
Chris Boyd is away from the defender, but he's just away from the goal as well.
Yeah, good thrusting run. That's a second dangerous attack in a row there from Scotland, and this time Boyd leaning back in his left foot, pushing it over the top, but good dangerous run in the inside left position.
Joe McLaughlin worked with these players last season as well.
Yeah, McLaughlin and Taylor there, Stuart Taylor beside him. Very, very good coaches, outstanding exponents at schoolboy football with a tremendous record.
Stephen Cumming just run it over the line. Tried the Mr. Innocent look, but it doesn't work.
No, he knows that ball was out.
But he's learning to master that innocent look, isn't he, that footballers.
Yep, they all have it.
Manage. Chris Boyd, Prunty almost in. Malloy is in now. Wales won't want to see him on the ball for too long. He's got support from Stephen Cumming. Nice work from him. It's come through to Fletcher. He couldn't keep it down. It's a neat move.
Yeah, very good move. And again, leaning back, unfortunately, Darren Fletcher with the final shot. This is great play down the left by a substitute player coming in. Over it comes, and Darren Fletcher's just leaning back and strikes it over the bar. Big change now. Scotland have got 3 up, Wales have 2 up, and that's a complete change in the strategy of both sides. Both teams going out for a winner, and I think, and I hope that we're going to get a goal, or maybe more than one goal in the remaining 15 minutes or so.
Darren Fletcher. Fletcher could play in this tournament again next year. He's only 14. This is one paging run from Rankin. Boyd was behind him, but he went for glory himself. And
yeah, he did. And he went for glory with his right foot, but just not his favoured foot. He did exceptionally well, a penetrating run there. And here he is getting into the box there, but the right foot shot was saved.
Well, now it's a Welsh free kick.
Yeah, as I said, Ian, Wales have got 2 up, and it's a straight 4-4-2 now, and Scotland have gone 3-4-3 up. So both sides have tried to be very ambitious.
They're both going for it, and Wales nearly got it with James Collins' header. We'll have a corner now.
Well, that was a let-off for Scotland, because this is a terrific header. And again, the Scottish defence beaten by a header. And the ball in is perfect from the other side this time. Scottish defenders caught out with a great jump there, and James Collins just headed it past.
From the resulting corner, the heads went up again, and it was Newton, I think, who made contact.
Yeah, we're finding Wales are causing great problems with the cross ball. There's another fine header that time. brilliantly saved by Graham Smith in goal for Scotland.
So a bit of a test for Smith and for Scotland. And I wonder which way this game will swing in the closing 10 or 11 minutes, if indeed it will swing any way.
Yeah, Wales are having their best spell, Ian, and the cross ball is causing tremendous problems to John Kennedy and Andy Dowie at the back for Scotland.
Malloy weaving his way through and going for the curler. Oh! And he was so unlucky. Really has sparkled tonight, Malloy, and that would have capped an impressive performance. He's been showing off his skills tonight.
Yeah, Malloy's having a wonderful night, and that just capped it. Had that gone in, that would have been a well-deserved goal for Scotland. But here is terrific skill. The defenders are afraid to touch him. They know if they touch him, it's a penalty kick, so they step back. You notice there, and a wonderful chip ball right to the far post, and unluckily it didn't manage to find the net, but wonderful play by Mark Malloy.
Here's Fletcher now. Wales struggling a little bit here. Fletcher goes it alone, and within inches of putting Scotland ahead, but the chances are coming thick and fast now.
Yeah, they're coming at both ends, actually, but this was a good chance, and Fletcher changed feet brilliantly. And unfortunately for him, he just shot it past the far post, but very good play by Darren Fletcher. You know, it's interesting to note that Fletcher and Malloy are two of the youngest Scottish players. They're both aged to play at this level next year, so we're going to have really good midfield players next year.
Yeah, that's good news for Scotland in next year's Victory Shield campaign. Watkin dispossessed by Stephen Jack, offside against Chris Boyd though. Mark Malloy still only 14, but a young man I think we might be hearing a fair bit of.
Yeah, terrific attempt and goal there. Goalkeeper nowhere, it hits the inside of the post, tantalising, goes across the face of the goal. And luckily for Wales, it goes into the field of play and not into the back of the net.
Well, Wales are making a change. Christian Diamond is the man coming off, and that's Chris Hopwood, who played in the last game against Northern Ireland, but was dropped to the bench for this evening. He's got a chance to impress now, but it's the Scottish number 7 again. Thrusting forward, Mark Malloy. Jamie McCunney, Darren Fletcher, and it will be the keepers, and it always looked like it would be, in fairness.
Yeah, the keepers looked good. That was a confident catch.
Dowie's header. Stephen Jack fouling Daniel Watkin. Free kick to the Welsh inside the final 10 minutes. The schoolboy matches, remember, just 80 minutes long.
Yeah, and Wales are definitely lasting the pace in this one much better than I understand they did in their previous matches, so they're still in with a great chance, and they've shown determination, they've shown initiative, they've changed their system, and they are very positive in or they have been in the last 10 minutes and look to be in the final 10 minutes.
So Darren will be more than encouraged by their second half performance. After that cagey first half. Now there's a strong run by Cumming. Always goes down right on the edge of the area, but it's only a corner.
Yeah, he was looking for more than a corner, I think, but the referee right up with play, as he has been all night. Correct in his decision, in my opinion. Corner kick.
Aimed towards Dowie again. Saying earlier he been threatening to connect on one. He did connect on that, but comfortably cleared off the line. Here's Chris Boyd. No way through. And Andrew Newton.
Yeah, here's the difference. Two strikers now, Newton one of them, and he's a fresh pair of legs, and he's certainly threatening the Scottish defence.
Hopwood getting his first touch. Doesn't last very long. Away by McKinney. Fletcher. In steps Martin Giles. Now Lee Fowler is going to have a go. Oh, he had a real go. And a spectacular save from Graham Smith. But what a super strike as well.
Yeah, that was a great strike. Here it is, the ball breaks nicely to him, and Lee Fowler goes on, and without stopping the ball, first time, a great shot, perhaps just too straight, but also a very fine save from Graham Smith.
Come on.
So, Wales now with the corner. And Newton was in there, but it didn't really come off for them.
No, yet again, though, the Scottish defence struggled to clear the cross ball, and that must be a worry for the Scottish coach.
Another yellow card has been brandished, and it's been shown at Woodyat.
Yeah, Woodyat, a little unfortunate there. He was late. Certainly it was a foul, and a dangerous foul, but there was no intention, I think. He just arrived a little too late.
Dowie well forward again, and another good catch from Gary Evans.
Yeah, danger here though. If the Welsh goalkeeper Gary Evans plays it quickly, when Dowie moved forward there, it was 2 against 2 at the back. It's still in 2 against 2 at the back at the moment. So Scotland living a little dangerously there.
And it was safely away by Martin Giles. Again, it's Malloy with yet another tremendous turn. The pullback's not bad either. Darren Fletcher with the throw. Helped on by Malloy. Away by Kennedy. Offside flag frustrating the Scots. Time running out in the search for a winner in this game.
Yeah, that was very good defending on the part of the Welsh, because they came out quickly following the clearance, and the lazier Scottish strikers, not thinking, were left offside. Excellent defending from Wales.
Simmons free kick. And Graham Smith comes. And he gets there. Put it to him.
He had to come quickly, because this substitute Andrew Newton has got a bit of pace, and he was outstripping the Scottish defenders there.
John Rankin now for the Scots. Away by Woodyat. A draw in this game would certainly give England a bit of encouragement as they prepare to take on Northern Ireland next week in Ballymena. Both Scotland and England on 2 points before tonight, after their victories. 2 points for a win in the Victory Shield. Is it going to be just a point apiece for these two teams tonight?
Well, Ian, it looks like it, but the second half has been a revelation compared with the first. We've certainly had two teams opening out, playing good football, creating many goal-scoring chances, and it could have been 2 or 3 each by now.
What about a man of the match for you, Craig?
Well, I think I've got to go along with young Mark Malloy. Superb, a year younger than most of his colleagues out there, has had an outstanding game, particularly in terms of skill. It's the skill and the trickery that has impressed me, and I think impressed Alan McInally, as he said at half-time.
Well, Mark Malloy gets £100 to spend on sports goods, and so does his school as well. It has been outstanding. Collins taking no chances at this stage of the game. James Collins. Darren Fletcher ready to take the throw. This is Lee Fowler, though. If I get it over the top of the big Scottish defenders. Here's one of them, Dowie. Fowler, who's with Coventry. Being hassled by Malloy and being fouled by Malloy, so says the ref.
Yeah, but Coventry have a very good young player there. You see the composure. He wasn't going to give away possession. He was keeping the ball until he was fouled. And he's had a very good match, both in the first half and more particularly in the second.
We're inside the final minute. Fowler.
Great pass from Fowler, wonderful ball.
Superbly picking out Martin Giles. His cross met by Dowie, the Scottish skipper. Flick on by Boyd. Suddenly it opens up for Scotland a little bit, and then suddenly it doesn't. It opens up for Wales again. And here's Newton, and he's fending off Dowie, and what a chance here for Newton. He was greedy, and McTaggart was absolutely begging for the ball, totally unmarked just to his right.
He was greedy. I predicted the pace of Andy Newton here would cause troubles to the Scottish defender. He's proved that, but he must square that ball to his colleague, because Daniel McTaggart's waiting on it. And he maybe doesn't see him, but he tries a shot, and I'm sure had he squared the ball across the face of the goal, Wales would have won this match.
That's how he squared it. Wales would almost certainly have been celebrating a victory.
Yeah, that's a tidy young midfield player. Lee Fowler. This one has worked hard too. Daniel Watkin has worked hard, as well as scoring a fine equaliser. He's put in a really hard shift for Wales.
And it's all over, and it ends in a 1-1 draw here at Airdrie. Daniel Watkin with the equaliser for the Welsh after Brian Prunty had perfectly planted his penalty into the bottom corner. The inspiration for the Scots was that young man, the man of the match, Mark Malloy, who really showed us some silky skills. After a fairly dreary first half, the second half exploded into life with Simmons' tackle on Boyd and Prunty's excellent penalty. But their lead didn't last too long. The glancing header from Daniel Watkin left Graham Smith rooted to the spot. And Scotland will go into their final game of the tournament against England in 3 weeks' time. But they've been held here to a 1-1 draw by Wales.
Well, that really was a terrific second half, and somehow we only had 2 goals at the end of it all. But look at those attempts at goal by Scotland, 22 of them, 8 from Wales in the second half, 11 on target between the two sides, and 9 corners for good measure as well. It was very fiercely contested, that has to be said. 3 bookings, unusual for schoolboy internationals: Fowler and Woodjat of Wales, and Brunty of Scotland. Action areas in the first half, it was all Scotland. But in the second, the Welsh, although under a fair amount of pressure, could easily have recorded their first win in Scotland since 1979. Terrific game. Alan McInally has thoroughly enjoyed it. In the end, was it a 1-1 draw a fair result, do you think?
Well, maybe I was too patriotic at half-time when I was glowing about Scotland, but Wales in the second half were much better. They did push someone else up front to help McGinty, McTaggart, and it was a much better performance by them. Having said that, when Scotland take the lead, you did think then they might go and win it, but they really showed great character. Great goal back for them, and there was chances for both teams. It was a terrific second half.
Yeah, the Scots had the best possible start, 30 seconds into the second half, and the penalty, I think, was an absolutely justifiable decision, wasn't it?
Yeah, most definitely. Boyd's gone in, I think it's Simmons that brings him down, there's no question that's a penalty, and it was put away very convincingly with Brian Punt. Remember, he had a chance with a header into the first half, he missed it, but a great start for them to score so early on.
Yeah, at that stage we thought curtains for the Welsh, but they showed terrific character to come back, didn't they?
Well, there was a couple of crosses come into the box, and really the Scottish team were all over the place, and they had done well, the Welsh, at cross balls, and it was a great ball in from Lee, and the big boy got his head on it, fantastic.
Yeah, just what the Welsh wanted. I know at half-time they were disappointed by certainly what they were doing when they attacked, but this ball in from Fowler just set up perfectly. But having said that, the header is high quality.
Yeah, as Daniel Watkins did really well, actually. He caused a few problems. It's a good ball in from Lee Fowler. He also got booked, but he was always involved, and there was a great delivery by him. But I've just got to say, it was picked up by John Rankin, who was probably the smallest of the defenders. So I would maybe, for set pieces, maybe Scotland were really caught out sleeping there.
What about this guy, Mark Malloy, named man of the match by Craig Brown? He was outstanding, and there was that one moment of magic when he hit the inside of the post as well.
It was absolutely fantastic skill by him. You can see it's he starts it, gets the ball, good control. I said all night he'd been very good, very tricky. Came inside, good feet, driving into the box, lifts his head up, magnificent chip over the goalkeeper. Goalie's lost, and he's, oh my goodness, he's so unlucky there.
Yeah, you were screaming at me, that's a wonderful goal before it had come out.
I honestly thought I think the same as the goalkeeper. I think he also thought it went in. Great skill from Malloy. I think quite rightly he was given the man of the match. Always involved, and when he was involved, he was always active in an offensive way. But I suppose with the chances it's been, there's a few chances. Collins hit the post, remember, then Lee Fowler had another great shot. So maybe 1-1 in the second half is probably a good result, but I would have to say with the amount of possession Scotland had, especially in the first half, I think they'll be more disappointed.
Well, it's certainly a blow as far as their chances of retaining the title is concerned. They are still top at the moment with 3 points from their first 2 games. Then England with 2. Wales finished the campaign with 2 points from their 3 games, and Northern Ireland with their 1 point so far from 2 matches. But England are now very well poised to become champions, aren't they, Alan?